Hey guys, welcome back to the Legend of Corncast. I'm Jacob, and with me is
Aaron.
and we're talking about Link's Awakening this time, and this includes the original release, DX, and the re-release for Switch.
This one's gonna be tough for me because Link's Awakening is debatably one of my least favorite Zelda games.
Gasp! No, I don't care that much.
It's not that I hate it. It's just it's because it's most that feels un-Zelda, like non-Zelda.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't get that feeling at all when I played it.
Well, because they have Mario implements in it, like there's Koopas in it. Not Koopas, but Goombas.
Yeah. There's Goombas in it.
Goombas, and what's the thing on the chain?
The chain chomp, but it's called Bow Wow.
Yeah.
Link to the Past had Bow Wows.
They did, yeah.
We didn't talk about those.
We didn't.
But that's fine.
You're hearing it now.
It's fine.
I don't hate the game. It's just I played it for the first time on the Switch when it came out, and my impressions of it were the game was good, but
man, why did I spend $60 on it?
Yes, exactly, because I beat it in 20 hours. Especially because the original didn't have 20 heart containers. I think it had like 14 or 16.
Something like that. It was an odd number.
They added the way they added heart pieces was kind of unique, but like there was a whole heart container you got and heart pieces for the stuff you had to do with Dompe in the graveyard, and it was just they made it in a way.
It had a dungeon creator for some reason. It had Legend of Zelda Maker.
They pretty much like, hey, Mario Maker was successful, so let's implement it, which I think that would actually be a good idea for Zelda if it was his own title, but in this game, it just wasn't that good.
Okay.
The dungeon creator, in my opinion,
the dungeon creator was very not good because it was all the rooms you could use were rooms that you had done in game.
Yes.
So it's not like they were like new and fresh, and it's this dungeon that I've already played. That's cool.
And I'm pretty sure to get everything from Dompe, which is like a bottle, a piece of heart, and a whole heart container, is like you have to make your own dungeon I think 20 times. It's a lot.
I didn't get that far. I think I did like 4 of them, and that was just me making the same dungeon over and over again, making like the easiest okay, so this room I know has a keys in it, so let's just go, we'll use this one, and then just put that 4 times in there, and boom, dungeon. Well, what's the boss? It's always a facade.
I really like how, you usually collect, in Zelda games, you're usually collecting, every time you beat a dungeon, you get this, you get, a medallion, you get a pendant, or you get this sage, or you get remains.
Okay.
In this game, you get instruments, which I thought was really cool. That's one thing I did like about it. I was like, oh, you're collecting instruments.
Yeah, you get a tambourine.
Yeah, you get
and a tuba,
a snare drum.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's a snare drum.
I don't care what it is. I've only played a Link's Awakening twice.
You get a piano, I think, too.
Yeah. So the first time I played it, I was back in high school, and I just remember I was talking to my friend. I'm like, "Yo, I think I'm gonna play Link's Awakening." He's like, "Man, that's a really good game." I'm like, "Okay." I mean, it's on the 3DS shop, so I'll probably pick it up and I'll play it. And then I played it, and I'm like, "Man, this is Zelda on a handheld."
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy! And then I saw Facade, and I was sold immediately. Facade is one of my favorite bosses from the entire franchise because he's just the floor.
He's literally a face on the floor.
And I'm so upset that they will not bring Facade into the 3D era.
How would that work?
I don't know, but I want to see it happen.
It kind of works more for 2D.
He could be on the walls. Maybe you gotta use a hammer and you gotta hit the walls while he's on the wall. I don't know, but I want it to have bomb arrows.
That would have been a really good idea for
Link's crossbow training. Boom, Facade, final boss. God damn, I love Facade. He's.
I don't even remember how you fight him. Don't you just
you drop bombs on his face.
Oh,
that's it. He's just a Dodongo, but he's the floor, and I love him. I was at the point when I was talking to one of my other friends at school. I mean, every time we go to school, I'll be like, "Yo, so did you get to the face shrine yet?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, keep playing." And then the next day, "You get to the face shrine yet?" "No." "Keep playing." And this went on the entire school year. I still call him up to this day and ask him, "Hey, did you get to the face shrine yet?" He keeps telling me no. It's been 8 years now. It's been 8 years since high school, and he still hasn't got to the face shrine. He has not seen Facade in his 2D glory, but he has seen it in the remake. So that's good enough for me, I guess.
One thing I do like about it is how it combines 2D and side scrolling.
Yeah, much like the original.
Yeah, like they both did that.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool idea.
And then you get to jump on Goombas.
Yeah,
you can jump on Goombers.
They turn and like the rock with the rock's feather, it makes it a platformer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the thing. That was the first time Zelda ever was a platformer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Zelda 2 definitely didn't happen. So anyway, the plot of this game...
I just realized what you said.
Anyway, the plot of this game is you wake up on a beach after some nonsense happens. Particularly the nonsense from A Link to the Past that we didn't talk about at all. But anyway, so you wake up on a beach... And they're like, "Yo, you need to wake up the windfish," and everybody's telling you, "Don't wake up the windfish. I don't want to die." And then you're like, "No, I'm waking up the windfish. I'm gonna spite you." And then you wake up the windfish, and he's a big old whale. 'Cause,
What's the thing you have to fight?
Nightmare.
Yeah, that's literally his name is Nightmare.
Mm-hmm. And he dresses up as other. And he dresses up as other bosses from
he
Zelda
whooped my ass.
Yeah, you go in there. You gotta bring like some potions or something when you go in there. At least for
he's
me,
tough.
Because like he was a jerk, but he dresses up as Ganon. He dresses up as something else, and like 2 other phases. I don't care what they are.
Mm-hmm. Also, that maze, like I couldn't figure out the maze.
Did you get the spectacles? Because
Yes.
you're supposed to get the spectacles and read the tiny book,
Mm-hmm.
and the tiny book will tell you where to go.
Yeah, it's that I didn't figure it out at first, and then I was just like, oh.
And I think the spectacles are like, maybe they're binoculars. I don't know. It's something. It's like a magnifying glass. That's what it is. You get that through the trading quest, which is really long, and there's no indication on who wants what.
Also, I knew this was in the Switch version because I used it. I got it, but like the maze, it was like there was like a maze in the graveyard to get the blue and
the color dungeon.
Yeah, was that in the original?
That was not in the original, but it was in DX.
Oh,
because DX was on the color,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, you could get the blue mail or the red mail.
Mm-hmm.
And
I always ran blue mail.
I think the blue mail is smarter.
Yeah.
Not for speed runs, but for just general playing.
Mm-hmm.
Although, now that I think about it, I might have gotten the red mail. Because I'm like, I'm going to beat him up. I want to beat him up quicker. Because the less time he's on screen, the less damage I'll take. It's always my MO. So, let's see. There's the crane game.
Oh, I love the crane game.
Yeah, in the Switch version, like there's Mario characters you can win, and I was trying to get the piranha plant, and it got stuck.
I think the same thing happened to me for the Yoshi doll.
I think and that starts off the trade quest, so you need to get that one.
Mm-hmm. That's long too.
Yeah, it's a really long trading quest. I think it's the longest of the franchise.
I don't know if it's longer than Ocarina's.
It's longer than Ocarina's. I'm pretty sure, because Ocarina's is only like 7 stages. This one is like, it runs the entire game.
Also, it's just like, I forgot. Well, I didn't know this until after I bought everything. I didn't really forget, because I also didn't know. You can steal from the shopkeeper.
Yeah, and then you can never go back in there.
It's worth it to steal the bow, because it's like almost 1,000 rupees.
Or, you buy the bow like a normal person and don't get your name changed to thief.
It's funny, though.
Yeah, until you decide, oh, humdy-dum, walking into the store, oh, it's electric. It was Palpatine. He was there the whole time.
It was always Palpatine.
I mean, yeah, no, you just get fried. You die.
I may not love the game that much, but I do like some of the characters, like Marin. I think Marin's a good character.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, a different version of Zelda. It's like a combination of Zelda and Malon.
Mm-hmm.
I think her name is Malon.
Yeah.
From Ocarina of Time.
I think. Yeah, that's the reason why her name is Malon. Actually, so she's supposed to be Marin.
I was about to say Romani, and I was like, oh no, it's a different game.
No, that's the other one.
That's the other one.
But yeah, no. Her and Terran were essentially the beta or the proof of concepts for Malon and Talon. And you can even hear it in the name. Just, do the whole change R and L thing that is apparently a thing.
What was the...
and then
you had to collect those things too.
The seashells?
Yeah, I almost said the thing from Link Between Worlds.
The Maya Mice?
The Maya Mice. So I was like, nope, that's the wrong game.
I mean, they are kind of shells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Switch one added a whole bunch more seashells.
There's only like 2 rewards that are worth it for collecting the seashells too.
Yeah, and it's a sword.
And a piece of art.
Yeah,
everything else is just not worth it.
Just make sure to engrave your name on the sword.
Literally, I got every single seashell, and the 2 rewards after that are dungeon pieces.
Ooh,
for Dampe.
Those are gross. I don't need those in my life. I didn't like the Dungeon Maker.
After that, it's just not worth it. The Covalent Sword's very worth it, though.
Yeah, I got the seashell sword. I think that's what was in the original.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm the best. And then I got punched in the face. But I did engrave my name on the sword immediately. Because for some reason, that's one of Link's quirks, is he engraves his name onto everything. It's great. The original and the DX had photo mode. I don't remember if the Switch one had it. I don't think it did. Where, you stop at a thing and then a man teleports in. He's like, hey, let me take a picture of you. And it's usually a weird scene of Link doing something. Like one of them, he's getting chased by the Bow Wow.
I like the Bow Wow. There's a... I like the part where you take the Bow Wow with you and it just eats everything in its path.
Why can't I just keep this with me the whole game? Why do I have to give Bow Wow back? He's my friend. He's my friend and I love him. Let's see, do you remember the tower? Like, it's not the last dungeon, but it's pretty close. So you fight the bird at the top.
Oh, yes.
That level sucks.
Fighting the bird was pretty fun, though.
Oh, fighting the bird's fun. Doing the tower to climb up there, it's like, oh.
I think I fell off multiple times.
Because it's like, you gotta, hit specific switches, and then go back, and then walk on top of the barriers. And then hit the switches again, and it was super. You had to carry the iron ball around or something like that. And it was just like, stop it, game.
I don't... Is every enemy in Link's Awakening different than all the other games?
There's a few unique enemies, like the Kirby's, or I think they're anti-Kirby's.
And then, the Goombas. And...
Yeah, the Goombas are unique to that. I think the Cheep is also in that.
Yeah, I just don't know their names off my head. There's the cactus enemies in the desert.
Yeah, the Pokies.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of Mario enemies in that. There's a lot of characters from other games in that. Because I don't know if you know that Prince Richard is from a different game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from a different game. He's just hanging out on the island, why not? Wart from Mario Bros. 2 makes an appearance. Except he's not called Wart. But he does teach you a song. And that's a thing that he does.
That was probably the point of the game. They wanted to make some sort of collab with Zelda and Mario.
That actually wasn't. It was the guy who was making it. He's like, I'm just gonna put these characters in, and nobody's gonna stop me.
I mean, to be honest, we've seen Mario and Zelda characters in the same game before.
Yeah.
Link was available in Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, yeah.
I would actually love, like, besides Smash Brothers, like a Zelda and Mario collab.
I can't believe it. It's gonna be Captain N, the Game Master, the game.
I really don't know how they'd do it, but it'd be really cool. Like, what if Link was a plumber and Mario was like an expert swordsman?
I don't know. I don't think. Mario,
I mean, they pretty much do the same thing.
I don't think Mario could use a sword. He'd be swinging around a wrench.
They pretty much do the same thing though. They both have to go save a princess from somebody evil.
I don't think they like to do that. I think it's just they kind of have to. They're obligated.
Yeah, okay, but the way I look at it is Ganondorf is actually evil, and Bowser's just
Ganondorf is not evil. He's such a nice guy.
and Bowser's just, you know,
I like to assume,
he does it to troll Peach, Mario, and Luigi.
I like to assume what happens is Ganondorf invites Zelda over to his castle, and then because Ganondorf's super clumsy, he forgets where he puts all his keys, locking every door in the process. And then then at the end he's just like, well, dang, how do I get back to my room? And then he's like, wait, magic, I can warp. So then, like, he's like, okay, on the to-do list, I'm going to leave Link a note saying, hey, I dropped my keys. I don't know where I put them. Zelda's in my room right now. It's all good. I'm not evil, I swear.
And this is also old man Ganondorf screaming at kids to get off his lawn.
No, that happens later in the timeline. But, like, this is Ganondorf in his prime, and he's just like, man, I really just want to have, like, I want to have friends, but I keep dropping my keys.
That's the reason he's the king of evil.
He's just misunderstood. He's not
Because he keeps dropping his keys.
He's not actually evil. He just, like I said, he doesn't know where he put his keys, and now he's stuck in his castle. And he's got all of the monsters out there looking for his keys so they can help unlock him and get him out of the castle.
That's why all the moblins, the Stall children are out there.
They're looking for keys.
He got so mad. That's why he destroyed Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, because they took his keys.
That's his wish for the Triforce.
Man, I
to
wish
get his keys back.
I wish for a castle that didn't have so many keys. Why can't I just have a master key? That's where it comes from in Zelda 1. He made a wish on the Triforce for a master key.
To be fair, that's the timeline where he won.
This is canon now. This is canonical.
We just wrote a new Zelda game.
Ganon is so bad with keys. He wished
Nintendo,
for
are
a
you
master
listening?
key.
Nintendo, I hope you're listening.
Anyway, we've gotten pretty sidetracked.
Oh,
off
yeah.
Off of the Link's Awakening, the game that doesn't have Ganon in it.
Yeah.
I mean, he shows up as a shadow, but that's neither here nor there.
To be fair, this game isn't in Hyrule.
Yeah,
Most games that aren't in Hyrule don't have Ganondorf or Zelda.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, things happened. Like, jeez. Oh, I've got so little to say with Link's Awakening. Like, I want to say it's my favorite of the handhelds, or it's
Really?
at least I want to say it's either my favorite or the strongest of the handhelds. But I don't know if I can say that in good faith with the Oracle games right around the corner.
I can't.
Because individually the Oracle games aren't as good. But if you combine them like they're supposed to be, I'd say they make for one hell of a game. But that's really unfair considering that's 2 games versus 1.
Obviously, we're going to do both the Oracle games in one episode.
Yeah, despite them being significantly different from each other.
Yeah.
But, and the funny thing is they borrow heavily from Link's Awakening. Like, they just flat out like, well, we're
it's
gonna...
literally the same model.
Yeah, we're gonna reuse your sprites, thanks. And, yeah. Capcom was like, okay, we're gonna do that. That's gonna be easy. We're gonna make a 3rd game. Never mind, that's gonna be way too hard.
That was originally supposed to be a trilogy.
Mm-hmm. There were supposed to be 3 of them, each for the Triforce. And then they're like, whoa, wait a minute. That's gonna be like really hard to do. Really? Scrap it. Furore doesn't need a game. Only Din and Nehru count.
Let's go, Din.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm Team Din.
Yeah.
Triforce of Power is the best.
I don't know. I think seasons are a lot more fun than ages, but that's just me.
All right. For Link's Awakening, what would you rank it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd probably give it a 7 as well.
I'd give it a 5. See, I don't know. Actually, I'd give it a 6. Because I liked the Switch version. If it was the original version, I'd give it a 5. But the Switch version improved a lot.
And then it also
it looked a lot better.
Yeah, no, the Switch version's look was odd at first. The Switch one was odd at first looking, and then as I'm playing, I'm like, you know what? No, this looks good.
It was the most odd looking Link I've ever seen. But then I remembered how he looked on the original one. I was like, okay, this actually does kind of fit.
No, it fits. It fits perfectly. I think they did a fantastic job with the aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how the aesthetic looks like those old stop motion Christmas movies.
Right.
Because, man, those just give me the heebie-jeebies. But I think the aesthetic is great.
Right.
So
it's probably not something I'd ever... I might pick it up and play it again sometime, but it's definitely towards the bottom of my Zelda game, favorites.
I mean...
Even 2D.
I wouldn't call it the best 2D Zelda game, because, that's really stretching it. But, yeah, like I said, I think it's probably one of the stronger handheld games, actually. Because
I would say it's average for 2D.
It doesn't have much to compete with on the handheld front.
That is true.
And it's also got the benefit of being the first handheld. And just the fact that they could get it on the Game Boy. Of all things, the Game Boy.
When did this come out? 93?
90-something or other.
I think it was 93 on the Game Boy.
I want to say it was 92, but I don't know. Anyway, it was fantastic. They originally wanted to make it as they wanted to port A Link to the Past. And that was a wild idea. That was a bad idea. You couldn't put that on a Game Boy. But they made this instead. And I think it did really good.
The Switch version is good. I didn't hate it. Maybe not worth $60.
It wasn't $60. It should have been $40.
I am on that team that doesn't think remakes are worth $60. Unless they're astounding, like Resident Evil 2.
Well,
that completely changed the game.
I mean, yeah. Anyway. So, we're all in agreement that...
but Nintendo is never going to release a game for less than $60.
That's not true. No, there's games that they release for less than $60. It's not going to be one of their big name games.
If it's Zelda, Pokemon, or Mario, it's not going to be less than $60.
Because, I mean, on the Wii U, they released Game & Wario for $40 because they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were giving people. Game & Wario didn't deserve to be $60. But I still bought it like a chump. Anyway. Is that all we got to say?
Yep.
Okay.
Until next week.
See you guys later.
See ya.
Hey, we closed it.